We're glad you're here. We're excited that you're considering launching or advancing your communication and media career with us. My team and I hope that this session gives you a real sense of our vibrant, collaborative community right here in downtown Boston and helps you decide if COM is the right fit for your goals. So before we dive in, we have a few quick notes. So this session, along with the Q&A with our students that follows this session, it's being recorded and both will be available for you to view shortly. And then we have a survey that we would love for you to fill out. That link will be sent later today, and then the recording will be sent separately. If you're joining us live today, feel free to post your questions in the chat, and we'll save time at the end for general questions. And if you're watching the recording later, you can always reach us at comgrad@bu.edu. So it's comgrad@bu. So now I'd like to introduce you to our fantastic team. We're your one-stop shop, and we're here to support you from the moment when you apply all the way through graduation. So we're going to start with Kayla, and then we'll just go down the slide in the order that folks are in.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. My name's Kayla Ring. I'm the Director of Graduate Affairs here at the College of Communication. I worked with students like yourself who are prospective students considering applying to master's programs all the way through to graduation. So you'll hear a lot from me if you choose to apply and are admitted to one of our programs. But I want to also introduce you to my colleague, Jackie Cummings.
Welcome, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today. My name is Jackie Cummings. I'm the Assistant Director of Graduate Admissions and Financial Aid at the College of Communication. So happy to help with any questions you have about the admissions or application process, as well as assisting with questions about financial aid, scholarship, loans, or working on campus. And next, I'll pass it to Christy.
Thanks, Jackie. Hi, everyone. I'm Christy Bowen. I'm the Marketing and Communications Specialist for the Grad Affairs team here at COM. I manage content for our prospective students about life as a COM grad student. I share tips and resources with newly accepted and enrolled students, all to help them prepare to join us here on campus. So very excited to welcome everyone here today, and I'll pass it over to Lou.
Thank you, Christy. Hi, everyone. This is Liu He. And for you who understand and read Mandarin, my name also pronounced He Lu. I'm Assistant Director of Academic Affairs and Grad Student Success at Grad Affairs Office at College of Communication. I help students create a long-term and short-term academic plan and also help them explore different resources to make a smooth transition here at BU and COM. Welcome to join us this morning.
Great, thanks, team. We look forward to connecting with everybody throughout your grad school search and hopefully to welcoming you to COM in the future. So the next slide. Yeah, thanks, Jackie. Here's what we'll cover in the next 45 minutes or so. First, I'll share a quick overview of COM and what makes our college and our grad programs unique. Then we'll touch on life in Boston, so housing, community, and the incredible opportunities that are available here. And then we'll cover the essentials, so financial aid, scholarships, and then Jackie will walk you through the admission process. And finally, we'll wrap up with a Q&A featuring some of our current grad students. And you can ask them anything: student life, internships, classes, application process, whatever's on your mind. So, and Jackie, we can move to the next slide. Okay, thank you. So for folks on this call, so maybe you're looking for an opportunity to lead a live news broadcast, or maybe you want to conduct groundbreaking research in communication that shapes public dialogue, or maybe you'd like to be part of the team that creates the next viral advertising campaign. Lots to do. So at COM, you'll have a chance to do this and much, much more. Our programs combine academic rigor with hands-on professional experience, and they prepare you to be successful in the ever-changing communication and media industries. So the College of Communication is one of 17 colleges at Boston University, plus the Faculty of Computing and Data Sciences. And we're located in the heart of Boston, which people describe as historic, high-tech, culturally rich. And it's definitely a city that has it all: world-class universities, top media and tech companies, and we have all 4 seasons, from summer on the Charles River or at the beach, to skiing in winter, and that's just a short drive away. And also being in Boston means you'll have access to incredible internship and networking opportunities, which we know are essential to building your communication and media career. And with almost 250,000 students, so with nearly 250,000 students across Boston, there's an energy and a creativity here in Boston that's really hard to beat. So while BU as a whole has over 33,000 students, COM is a much smaller, close-knit community with over 400 grad students across our programs. And we think the small scale is a major advantage. It means you'll form strong relationships with your classmates and professors, and you'll get the kind of mentorship and personalized support that will help you be successful. And at the same time, you'll have access to the resources of a major Research One university, which means that BU meets specific criteria for the highest level of research activity, and it's known for robust research programs, advanced facilities, and a strong commitment to producing groundbreaking research. It's similar to what Division I athletics represents for sports. You'll also be able to take advantage of other resources that a large university provides, such as our impressive Fitness and Recreation Center, some specialized offices like the Newberry Center for First Generation Students, Disability and Access Services, and the Howard Thurman Center for Common Ground, which is BU's hub for culture and dialogue. And we hope that you'll also have plenty of fun here in the city, whether it's going to BU hockey games in Agganis Arena or going to one of the many concerts, sports, and other events that happen across the city on a regular basis. COM students take part in a very wide range of college-specific organizations. These will help you build professional skills and experience. They include Ad Lab, PR Lab, BU News Service, BU TV 10, WTBU Radio, Real World Productions, the Communication Research Center, and our Grad Student Council, which you'll hear about later. And then hopefully our current students can also share how they've gotten involved. So we're proud of what sets BU apart and what sets COM apart. So first is nationally recognized excellence. BU is ranked 42 among national universities by US News and World Report and number 7 in the US for international student enrollment by Open Doors. Next is research and professional experience. Our faculty include both leading researchers who are shaping the field and professors of the practice who bring current industry experience into the classroom. And then career outcomes. COM has its own dedicated career services office that's focused exclusively on communication and media careers. And our global network. BU ranks 22 in the world and number 12 in the US for global employability, according to Times Higher Education. So as part of COM and part of BU, you'll join an alumni network of over 455,000 BU alumni in more than 185 countries, including more than 33,000 active COM alumni who are leaders across industries and across continents. So we hope that by the end of this session, you'll have a clearer picture of why BU and COM might be the right next step for you. So Jackie, we can go to the next slide. So now that you have a sense of what makes COM special, let's take a closer look at the really promising career outlooks for communication and media professionals. Understanding the market that you're stepping into is key to your success, so we'll share some helpful data on growth and demand skills and earning potential to give you a clear picture of the exciting opportunities ahead. So if there's one thing I'd like for you to take away from this section, it's that the world of communication and media is not shrinking, it's actually evolving. And that evolution is creating an incredible wave of opportunity. Employers consistently tell us that technical skills alone won't cut it. In fact, about 25% of executives say that they won't hire recent grads because they're missing crucial professional skills like collaboration, problem solving, and resilience, which are all strengths that our grad programs are designed to build. Our industry isn't just about traditional channels anymore. It's a key player in driving overall business strategy in the digital world. And here are just a couple of examples. Market research analysts are among the most sought after roles with an impressive 20% projected growth. Why? Because every successful company today is essentially a data company, and they need communicators who can turn consumer behavior into smart, actionable strategies. Another example, roles in advertising and public relations are also growing faster than average because in a more and more crowded digital space, having clear, persuasive, and targeted messaging is more important now than ever. And content creators are highly sought after with a huge demand for digital and streaming video content. And it's not just about growth, it's about value. So the median annual salary for media and communication jobs in the US is nearly $21,000 higher than the median for all US occupations. Plus, another example, specialized roles like technical writers who turn complex information into clear messages can earn close to six figures. So this tells you that companies are really willing to invest in top-tier communication talent. So how do you make sure you're ready to tap into this growth? So by being future ready with the right mix of skills. So first up, digital literacy, that's a must. Boosting your digital tools can increase your earnings by almost 50%. And then you need to focus on your uniquely human skills, right? Creative thinking and analytical insight. We all know AI is starting to take over repetitive tasks. So it's these skills like generating original ideas, interpreting data critically that will set you apart. And finally, AI and tech savvy is essential. The communicators who are successful see AI not as a threat, but as a powerful assistant that can help you boost productivity and creativity. So in summary, as you can see, the communication and media job market is vibrant, it's rewarding, and it's expanding quickly into exciting digital areas. By focus on data-driven strategy and continual learning, you're setting yourself up not just for a stable career, but for a future full of high impact work and strong earning potential. So that promising job outlook is just one reason why our grad programs are designed to equip you with the skills and the experiences that you need to thrive. And so now Kayla and Lou will walk you through the details of our programs and how each one can help you reach your goals. So I'll hand it over to Kayla.
Thanks so much, Lori. So over the next few minutes, I'll walk you through our programs in the Department of Mass Communication, Advertising, and Public Relations. And I'll also discuss our Emerging Media Studies division, in addition to a few new programs that we're introducing to our graduate program repertoire. For each program, I'll highlight what makes it stand out, what makes it unique in the careers our graduate students can choose to pursue following completion of the program. First up, we have the MS in Advertising program. So this program really combines both creativity and strategy. It trains students to deliver and design campaigns that connect brands with audiences across multiple media platforms through classes such as consumer insights, brand experience marketing, art direction, creative video development, as well as portfolio. Students walk away from this program with a robust portfolio of work that's really compelling to employers. As Lori mentioned, there's lots of ways to get involved. Specifically for students in the MS in Advertising program, students can get real-world experience through AdLab, which is our student-run advertising agency, where you have the opportunity within a classroom setting to work with real clients and again, add more to your portfolio of work. Recent AdLab clients include big brand names such as Under Armour, Celebrity Cruises, as well as Wayfair. Moving on to the MS in Media Science program. The MS Media Science program is a STEM eligible program, and it's a really great fit if you're still exploring which area of communication you see yourself entering following the completion of a master's program. It's a well-rounded curriculum, and it's ideal for students curious about how audiences think, how media influences behavior, and how to use research to make communication more effective. It's our broadest program, and it allows students to explore everything from marketing communication and social media strategy to political communication, health communication, as well as media research. Within the media science program, we also have a sub-concentration that you can apply to separately if you're interested in exploring research more in depth. This is our marketing communication research sub-concentration, which focuses on developing advanced research as well as data and analysis skills through a series of 4 research classes. Within the marketing communication research sub-concentration, you can also choose to gain a certificate in data analytics as an additional credential as part of this program. Moving on to public relations. The MS in Public Relations allows students to prepare students to build strategic relationships, manage communication. Students take classes in media relations, investor relations, corporate crisis, health communication, and more. I should also mention that BU has a long history within PR. We were actually the first university in the world to offer a degree in public relations. Which is pretty cool. It offers the history that gives our graduates, the students, real edge in a brand and a program that's continually growing. It also gives us one of the largest alumni networks in the world, which is a great addition to any master's program. Students learn from award-winning faculty who have significant background in both nonprofit as well as corporate public relations, and they're regularly bringing in alumni as well as guest speakers to add to your class discussions. Students also gain hands-on research or gain hands-on experience, I should say, through PR Lab, which is our nation's oldest PR agency, student-run PR agency. Recent clients within PR include Ben & Jerry's, Goodwill, as well as several nonprofits. So moving into our Emerging Media Studies division, we do have an MA, a Master of Arts in Emerging Media Studies. This is also a STEM eligible program. It explores how new technologies like VR, AR, social media, and most notably, as Lori mentioned, AI, and how these technologies are reshaping communication, culture, and society. Students take classes in data analysis, developing interactivity, and they explore electives such as measuring media effects. This program stands out because you also gain a lot of hands-on research experience with real clients. You take part in a collaboratory class where students learn how to apply research and work with a client and present that work at a screen time conference, which happens at the end of each program. Last year's clients included some companies such as Medicinal Media, Day of AI, as well as a company called Check My Ads. So this program really gives you a strong mix of both theory, data analytics, and research skills that are very applicable in today's industry. And moving on to one of our newest programs, we do have a certificate program. It's the COM's first certificate, which is really exciting. It's in a very growing field and ever more important field. So the certificate is in civic science communication. This is a fully online certificate, which is quite nice. It gives students the opportunity within a 4-course program to really explore and gain a lot of skills in this space. It's perfect for professionals also who want to make complex scientific or policy information more understandable and actionable. It's really ideal for industries such as public affairs, science communication, health policy, or environmental advocacy. You'll learn how to tell compelling stories about science, present data, and engage diverse audiences. It's also really flexible, and you can actually complete the certificate within 2 semesters. And it's entirely asynchronous, so you can also complete it at your own pace as well. So I did want to take some time because I know when I'm considering programs, really what I want to learn is where can I see myself in the next couple of years? And this is hugely important. Here we've highlighted a number of different companies as well as job titles that recent graduates have had. If you use the QR codes on any of these slides, it will also bring you back to our College of Communication website where you can learn more about potential degree or career options following graduation from one of these programs. So I'll start first with our MS in Advertising program. Our MS in Advertising program does allow students to move into roles such as account manager, media strategist, brand manager, or roles such as junior art director and copywriter at big name agencies such as BBDO, Digitas, and McCann. We also see students moving into some in-house marketing positions through this program as well. Within public relations, our graduates go on to work at leading PR firms like Edelman, Weber Shandwick, and Burson and take on in-house roles such as PR specialists or account executives, also within some large name corporate companies, many of which are listed on this slide, but there's ample more if you explore both our website as well as our LinkedIn presence as well. Moving into our media science options for students who graduate from these programs. Again, you can see some large corporate companies, some names that you'll likely recognize. Students in the marketing communication research program explore careers such as research analysts, marketing strategists. We also see folks going into UX researcher positions at large research firms and corporate companies such as Visa and TikTok. And then for our emerging media studies graduates, they're going into roles such as digital strategists, product management, web marketing specialists, and UX researcher positions in this field as well. We also have several students who graduate from the Emerging Media Studies program who go on to PhD programs following the completion of the MA. And then for our civic science program, as I mentioned, it's new. So what you'll see here is a lot of projected career outcomes with the civic science certificate. as part of your credential within your resume. These job listings were done with a lot of research that our faculty have worked on to project where students following the completion of the certificate can see themselves going. Hey, I did want to take some time, and I'm really excited to talk about our two brand new programs. These are going to be upcoming, so you won't see them on the application quite yet, but as you're on joining our inquiry campaigns, we'll communicate with you via email when these applications are open and ready for you to apply. So I'll start first with our MS in Strategic Integrated Communication program. I saw a question in the chat. This is one of our programs that is fully online, and it's really designed for early to mid-career professionals who want to lead and further their careers as communication directors, VP of Public Relations, digital strategy leads, or brand and marketing management positions. It integrates both public relations, advertising, marketing, and branding into unified strategies. And you also gain hands-on experience within this online program in areas like crisis communication, strategic writing, and project management as well. And then I also wanted to talk about our MS in Human-Centered Design. This is a 2-semester in-person program that prepares graduates to lead the creation of ethical, inclusive, and impactful user experience research across different technologies, healthcare, education, as well as various other industries. So that's just a breakdown of these two new paths that students can pursue. And again, here our faculty have done a lot of research into these industries to see where we are projecting our alumni to go following completion of these two programs. So as I mentioned at the beginning, these are very high-level descriptions of these different fields. I'll be here for the Q&A, as will our current students, and we can talk about each specific industry, each specific program, and talk about your goals to see which program would best align with your professional path as well. But I do want to pass it off to Lou to talk about our other programs.
Thank you so much, Kayla. Well, everyone, now let's talk about our Master of Science in Journalism. So this is a 3-semester programs, which consist of fall, spring, and fall semesters. So the cohort size is usually about 25 to 30 students. So, and they have a very diverse background and are very passionate about storytelling. So students enroll in the journalism programs are building a portfolio of journalism work on different media channels. So we have students passionate about radio broadcast journalism, and some of them are very interested in multimedia photojournalism. Some are super fan of podcasting, and some come here because they want to become a sports journalist after graduated. And then some also wants to learn how to incorporate data analysis and visualization into journalism. So very diversified background and also the career goals. We also have a lot of special opportunity with our partners outside of BU, like radio station WBUR. For some international students, if you are not familiar with WBUR, it is a public radio station in Boston and also the largest of the 3 NPR member stations in Boston. So we also have a very good relationship with the Massachusetts State House through our State House program, so which offers our students the chance to do political news reporting and cover the State House for professional news client. These are all very good opportunities for grad students from all around the world to network and build your professional experience in journalism. And then from this slide, and you can also see our alumni has a fantastic industry information. They go on to work at the same as some of the most respected news organizations around the world, from the Boston Globe, the New York Times, to the Guardian and WGBH and CNN. And then they serve as reporters and producers, PR specialists and directors and communication managers, which are really making a very real impact across media industries. All right, move on to our film and television degree programs. So in the Department of Film and Television, we have 2 MFA degree programs and 2 Master of Science programs. So first of all, let's talk about the MFA Screenwriting program and MFA Film and Television Studies. So these programs offer, so for the film and the television programs, and these programs offer a really mix of creative and technicals and academic paths. They are designed for our students who want to tell stories on screen, study the industry critically, or innovate with new media technology. So for the MFA in screenwriting programs, which is usually a 2 year programs, which normally have 12 students in the program. The cohort size is small but very rigorous. Faculty and students are supporting each other. These programs require students to graduate with a really robust list of work. Students in the program are required to write multiple lengths of work, like feature-length screenplays, short scripts, and they also get a chance to do the television scripts. So by saying this, you can get a sense that the programs truly focuses exclusively on writings. You can also get an opportunity to analyze other students in your cohort's writing in the class and then talk to our faculty members very closely. And then next, move on to our MFA in Film and Television Studies, which is also a 2 year programs. And we normally have 5 to 15 students in the programs. They really explore and research the historical, political, and social cultural area of film and television. Most students from the film and TV studies programs go on and work either at film festivals or perhaps they go on to work and pursue a doctorate degree after they graduated from our College of Communication. We also have here the MS Television program. This is a 3 semester programs, consists of fall, spring, and fall semester, and we usually have 15 to 20 students enroll in the program. It is really guided and introducing students to how the industry has changed and how really television fit into the overall entertainment field of currently in this country. It is also focused on introducing students to becoming managers and really leaders in the television industry. Students enroll into these programs will have the opportunity to work with the clients around the world and to meet with clients, understand their needs, their concerns, their goals, and then come up with a proposal for a real video project which you can include into your resume. This program also offers a very good opportunity to fully develop your potential and your expertise in the content development and production. Last is our MS Media Venture program, which also consists of 3 semesters, but it falls to fall, spring, and summer. It's a little bit shorter. Usually, we have about 10 to 20 students get enrolled into this program. So the program is really focused on building new media ideas. So students throughout these programs are working to take an idea from a concept to market through a specific projects they are focused on. So this will be a lot of discussion between you and your professors during the entire studies here. And at the end of the program, students will pitch their concept and idea in front of a room of executives in the specific industry. This is also a great opportunities and great practice for our students to showcase their skills. And for international students, I want to mention that this program is a STEM eligible program. It will allow you to apply for 22 months extension of the optional practical training, which will greatly benefit our international students who would like to pursue a job here, start a new career path in the United States after graduation. So as you see in the images, our students are constantly collaborating from producing shows in professional studios or to pitching the new ideas and editing the higher ed labs. Next slide, I'll talk about the alumni information from these film and television programs are alum from the screenwriting and film and television studies programs are really making their marks across creative industry and academia. So screenwriting graduates work as a screenwriter, showrunners, story editors, and producer at companies like Netflix, Barstool VFX, and Central Casting. And meanwhile, our film and television students, alumni, and often pursue PhDs or work as lecturers, researchers, and critics at institutions and organizations such as BBC, Netflix, Disney, Indiana University, and also some film festivals in Boston. So you can also scan the QR code on the slides to see more information about programs and also get more information about alumni profile and also the student success story from each of the programs in there. Finally, our television and media ventures alum are shaping the entertainment and technology landscape. Television graduates work as executive producers, content managers, showrunners, and programming executives at major companies. Those big names including Apple TVs, CNN, HBO, NBC Universal, and Netflix Discovery. And our media venture graduates, merge in the emerging media industry and entrepreneurships. They serve as the product managers, XR, VR product strategists, heads of content at leading organizations such as Apple, Bloomberg, Hulu, Spotify, and YouTube. So these programs, I would say, are really designed not just to teach creative skills to our students, but also to prepare them to lead innovations across the global media industry. So across all our programs here, from journalism to film, television, and media ventures, our goal is really to help our students develop their voices, build industry connections, and turn their creative ideas into meaningful careers. So each program is small, but very designed in ensuring personalized mentorship, hands-on learning, and a strong sense of community, which are something really defines CALM. And one thing I also want to point out is the screenwriting programs, television program, and media venture programs will all ended up in BU campus in Los Angeles on the West Coast, which offers students a golden opportunities to experience this innovation in all the entertainment industry on the West Coast. Now let me hand over to Christy to offer you more information about all this great opportunity of studying abroad.
Thanks, Lou. So there are a number of study abroad opportunities available to COM Masters students highlighted here on this slide. Students enrolled in media ventures and screenwriting are able to take a portion of their program out to the West Coast to both study and work in LA. And then you'll see optional opportunities to study abroad for folks across our TV, journalism, advertising, media science, and public relations programs. Our faculty here at COM will guide you as far as finding housing and securing internships abroad, and overall just making your Boston-based education, just make the most of it while you're exploring other media markets. And so in addition to welcoming you to BU and COM, let us also welcome you to the city of Boston. Boston is among the top media markets in the world, and it has the highest concentration of colleges and universities in the country. Living in Boston creates awesome opportunities for networking and building professional connections. BU's campus is located in the heart of the city, so our students really benefit from direct access to public transportation. Boston has an easy-to-use system of trains and buses through the MBTA, aka the T. In fact, right outside the COM building, there's a stop on the Green Line train and a bus stop right across the street. The MBTA runs to and from pretty much every neighborhood in Boston, and it also includes a commuter rail that carries passengers out to the greater Boston areas just outside the city. So between all of these options, you'll be able to get to and from your apartment, to campus, to commute to downtown Boston, which is wonderful and a very cost-effective way to reach any offices where you might be working or interning in the city while taking classes. Boston is also a major center for research and innovation, as we mentioned, particularly in fields like technology, healthcare, biotech. Graduate students have the chance to engage in cutting-edge research and collaborate with industry leaders and experts. You'll see some top companies our students have interned at and gone on to work with after graduation, such as the Boston Globe and Weber Shandwick. So turning now to housing, thank you. We must say that the vast majority of our grad students here at BU do choose to live off campus. BU's location benefits our students here again because we have several super popular areas for students to rent apartments in immediately off or adjacent to campus, or just a short bus or train ride away. In addition to the widespread popularity of public transportation, Boston is also an incredibly walking and biking friendly place. BU's campus runs the length of a major street in Boston called Commonwealth Avenue. You'll only ever hear it called Com Ave. It's lined with really wide sidewalks and designated bike lanes on both sides of the street. So you can kind of you can mix and match different methods of getting to campus every day based on the weather and stuff like that. And if you search BU off-campus services, you'll be directed to a site where you can see some available apartment listings and just kind of get a sense of different style housing that's available. And we also have a link here to the university-wide grad student site. Through the housing page on this site, you can access really helpful information about how to work with local realtors and see some general but really important information about what the different neighborhoods are like and the types of rentals available in those different areas. And then finally on the slide, we have information on living on campus. We stress that on-campus housing for grad students, it's limited and not usually the preferred option, but for those of you that are interested, this site will address all of your questions about more dorm and suite style housing here on campus. And I'll pass it over to Jackie.
Thanks, Christy. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about the financial aid resources available to graduate students at the College of Communication before delving further into the application process. Graduate students at COM are typically financing their degree program through a combination of 3 different sources. These sources are primarily merit-based scholarship, assistantships or on-campus employment, and educational loan options. About 80% of our graduate students receive a merit-based scholarship to assist with the cost of the program. There's no separate application for scholarship, so as an applicant, you'll automatically be considered upon submitting your application for admission. If a student is accepted to a COM graduate program, they'll be notified in their acceptance letter if they have been offered a merit-based scholarship. Merit scholarships are determined by the faculty's holistic review of your application for admission, and students most competitive for admission will also receive the most competitive scholarship offers. COM merit-based scholarship can cover anywhere from 15% to 50% of mandatory tuition and fees. In addition to COM scholarship, graduate students are also eligible to work on campus. And this goes for both domestic and international students, and all graduate students can work up to 20 hours per week on campus. At COM, we have a wide range of employment opportunities or assistantships available to graduate students. These can include research, teaching, or administrative appointments, and these positions typically pay an hourly rate of anywhere from $20 an hour up to $23 or $24 an hour. About half of our graduate students will work on an on-campus job in any given semester, and these positions can be incredibly helpful for helping with some of the costs that you'll have day to day, such as paying for your rent or groceries or other personal expenses that might come up during the semester. And finally, there are also a number of educational loan options available to graduate students to help cover the remaining costs associated with your program. So if you are a U.S. citizen or permanent resident, we encourage you to complete the free application for federal student aid, or the FAFSA. And through the FAFSA, U.S. citizens or permanent residents pursuing a graduate degree program will be eligible for a student loan called the Federal Unsubsidized Loan. And all graduate students that complete and are eligible for the FAFSA will be eligible for a maximum of $20,500 in federal unsubsidized loan. There are also many resources at Boston University to help graduate students identify private loan options. There may be private loans that are open to both domestic and international students, and we provide resources for identifying those loans and finding ones that are most applicable to your needs. Now we've talked a little bit about financial aid. We're going to move on to discussing more in depth about the application process and what is needed to apply to a graduate program at COM. So in order to apply to a program, students will need to submit the following requirements generally for each program. We do have an online application portal, so everything that you submit for your application will be done online through our application system. We do have an application fee of $95 that will be submitted per application. We ask that you upload a copy of your transcript when you're applying. At the time of application, this can be your unofficial transcript, we do not need to receive your official transcript for your application. In the event that you are accepted to COM and decide to enroll, that's when we'll ask to see the official copy of your transcript. We also ask that students submit 2 letters of recommendation for our master's degree programs. We do recommend that these recommendations come from folks that you know in an academic or professional capacity. So some ideas for folks that you might want to ask for a recommendation could be professors, supervisors, or professional colleagues that you've worked with in the past. We'll also ask that you upload a copy of your most up-to-date resume or CV, highlighting your professional or academic accomplishments thus far. We also have a Cura Talent Assessment, which is essentially a virtual on-demand interview. Through Cura Talent, you'll be asked a series of questions and will provide a timed video and written response to different prompts. I would think of Cura Talent as similar to an interview, as these are the type of questions that will be asked during the Cura Talent assessment. So when preparing for Cura Talent, it's sometimes a good idea to look up frequently asked job interview questions and practice with those. There's also a practice assessment that can be completed through the Cura Talent platform, and we encourage applicants to use that to get familiar with the system and how the Cura Talent assessment works. We will also ask for English proficiency exam scores if you did not receive your degree from an English-speaking institution. And noting here that for the certificate program, the requirements do differ slightly from our master's degree program. So we do recommend taking a look at our website, which you can get to through the QR code on this slide. Each program, each master's program as well, will have their own personal statement prompts, as well as some might require a writing sample. So definitely check out the website and review the requirements for the program that you're specifically interested in applying for. And a little bit more about English proficiency exams. So again, if you did not receive your degree from an institution where English is the language of instruction, we will ask that you submit an English proficiency score that meets our minimum score requirements. We can accept a number of different tests for this requirement. We can accept the IELTS with a minimum overall band score of a 7.0. We can accept the TOEFL with a minimum score of 100, or a 5.0 if you're taking the test after January 2026 when they're transitioning to the band model. We can also accept the Duolingo English test, which is an exam that you can take online from your home computer. And for that, we require a minimum score of 130. If you are an international student that attended a school where English is the language of instruction, you do not need to submit an English proficiency score. If it's clear from your transcript that your courses were taught in English, we will waive this requirement automatically. If we do request English proficiency scores from you and you received a degree where English is the language of instruction, we'll usually just ask that you submit a letter from your institution certifying that all of your coursework was taught in English, and we'll be able to waive the requirement using that document. For the GRE, we do not require the GRE for any of our master's or certificate program. You can submit GRE scores if you would like to, but they will not be weighed heavily in the review of your application, as we'll be looking at the other required components before the GRE. That is in general what is required to apply for our graduate programs. And looking ahead, I just want to keep everyone up to date on the application deadlines so you can write them down on your calendar and be prepared to apply. Our first deadline will be our master's priority deadline, which is February 1st. If you're able to, we highly recommend applying by February 1st. This is when we have the most scholarship funding available, so students that apply by February 1st will receive top consideration for those merit-based scholarships. If you apply by February 1st, you'll also get your admission decision back sooner and will get your decision back in time to attend any of our virtual or in-person admitted student events that we host in the springtime. If you're not able to apply by February 1st, we do have a final deadline, which will happen in May 1st. So that will be the last deadline that you'll be able to apply for our graduate programs for fall 2026 enrollment. But you can also apply anytime between February 1st and May 1st. And between those two dates, we offer rolling admission. So you'll typically hear back from us in about 4 to 7 weeks after submitting a complete application. That's how long it typically takes our admission teams to review your application. And for our Civic Science Communication Certificate, we do not have a deadline for this program, so it is offering a rolling admissions deadline. So you're welcome to apply for the certificate at any time. And we do offer entry dates in all of the semesters, including fall, spring, and summer. So that program has a little bit more flexibility on when students can apply. And then I also want to highlight the QR code on this last slide here. This will link out to upcoming virtual events that we'll be hosting throughout the rest of the fall and the winter. Similar to this event, but maybe more Q&A. We'll have some sessions with faculty as well on them. So definitely recommend signing up for any of these sessions to get more information about the application process, as well as master's programs at the College of Communication.
All right, thanks, Jackie. We actually have some time for questions.
So unfortunately, we don't offer full tuition and fee scholarships for master's programs. So our scholarship that we're able to offer can cover anywhere from 15% up to at maximum around 50% of tuition and fees. So then to cover the remainder of that, we do encourage students to look at scholarship options maybe outside of the university, or working on campus in an assistantship position, or possibly exploring loan options. But in terms of the scholarship that's offered through the College of Communication, typically the highest scholarship award is around 50%, and that's for both international and domestic students. So you don't need to request a waiver. You can check your transcript to see if your transcript says anywhere that your courses are taught in English. If it's not on the transcript, so it doesn't say, the language of instruction on your transcript, if you could just get like a short letter from your school, so that could be like from your registrar or administrative offices at your university, just clarifying that all the courses were taught in English. So just a document from your school stating that, and then you can upload that to your application under optional documents, and that way we'll have that and be able to confirm during the review of your application. So all students that apply for admission for our master's programs are going to be automatically considered for scholarship. So at any time, so no matter if you apply before February, in February, or by May 1st, everyone will be considered for scholarship that applies. We do recommend applying early, so before or by February 1st, because that's when we have the most scholarship funding available. So the earlier you apply, the better chances of getting a top scholarship or a higher scholarship award. So if you're able to apply before or by February 1st, yes, you will be considered for scholarship. So the first generation scholarship, that will have a separate application, but we will email all students that are in progress, so have started an application or have already submitted an application, with instructions on how to apply for that scholarship or any other scholarship that requires an application. The first generation scholarship is really the main one for that. Typically that will be, writing a short essay explaining your experience as a first generation student. And typically that application will be due in early March. So usually around the first week of March is when we have a deadline for the first generation scholarship application. And you can submit that before or after you submit your application. I would recommend trying to apply for admission before or while you're submitting the first generation scholarship application, so we're getting them at around the same time. So we begin review of applications for fall 2026 admission after the priority deadline of February 1st. So we'll start reviewing applications on February 1st. So the earliest that a student can expect to hear back that's applied by February 1st or before will probably be around early March, usually like the first or second week in March. So there are a few assistantships that might be awarded during the admissions process. However, that's not as common as scholarship. Most students will apply for assistantship opportunities after they've been admitted to the program. The vast majority of assistantship opportunities become available over the summer. So typically between May and August is when students are really applying for those positions. It is possible to get one in your acceptance letter, but it's less common.
So to address your first question, all students are eligible, including both domestic and international, for both scholarship within the College of Communication as well as assistantships. When we move on to the second section of our call today, you'll hear actually from a few international students who have on-campus positions, and we can discuss kind of what that looks like. As far as requirements for an international student to have an on-campus job, so this is any employment through Boston University, you don't have to have any additional paperwork, there's no additional authorization, and no additional English language requirement to pursue on-campus jobs. Each individual job might have its own specific qualifications. For example, one of the students on our call, or two of the students on our call today, for example, work as more graduate assistants. So they do more administrative work within the college. So they had to have some customer service background, strong writing skills. There's also research positions that might require you to have somewhat of a research background or have worked in some sort of technical capacity previously. And then there's positions that are very niche, like working within our social media office, and they might want you to have background with Adobe, for example, to be able to create some graphics for their office. But as far as international requirements, there's nothing specific. They're more professional requirements specifically. Does that answer your question, Ruslyn? Yep. So for internships for international students, that does require additional authorization if you're pursuing your program as an F1 student or a student on an F1 visa, I should say, to pursue an internship off campus, where Boston University is not your employer. Let's say you're being employed by an advertising agency, for example. You will need to apply for something called curricular practical training, which is the work authorization under your F1 student visa. This is available to international students after they've been enrolled in the United States for 2 semesters. So the earliest a student who enters our program in fall of 2026 would be available to pursue an internship would be summer of 2027, which is pretty common for our students to pursue internships over the summer when they have the most bandwidth to do so. And then I do know you asked a question about paychecks as well on campus. I'll actually drop into the chat some information about paychecks. Similar to what I was saying, that different jobs have different specific skills. Different jobs on campus may also have a different pay rate depending on the number of hours that you're working, depending on the role that you're taking on and the responsibilities related to that. And students are paid out weekly for their employment on campus. So it's not a lump sum. You're paid out weekly for the work that you're doing. There's some positions that are more stipend based, but that's less common. Most of our students have hourly positions on campus.
And also, if folks have questions after today, we'd love to hear from you. So please reach out to us at, thanks, Candy. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to us at comgrad@bu.edu, or you can visit our website at bu.edu, com and graduate. There's also the web page that is on the screen here in yellow, admissions/graduate. That'll help to answer a lot of your questions about the application process. But in generally, we are really excited that you guys are here. We hope that you are leaving here with a real feel for what makes BU and COM such an exciting place to study and create and grow. And we hope that you'll take the next step toward joining COM.